Ah, you're here. Good. I'll head upstairs first, and you join me in a bit. You've got nothing to worry about. As long as this lucky coin's in my hands, it'll do as it's told. Before I toss the coin, I'll get our guy to bet heads or tails. Then it's your turn to bet. Now remember, if I touch my chin, you bet heads. If I touch my forehead, you go for tails.
Hello. Are you waiting for someone? As long as you follow the rules of the tea house, you're welcome here. Please be our guest.
From the way you describe it, Liyue does sound like an attractive place to settle. Perhaps I might have to make the move here after all. All that awaits me back in Mondstadt is a horde of insufferable sycophants. Truly tedious. The reason I left home in the first place was because I was reluctant to simply live off of my inheritance.
I understand. For one as ambitious as yourself, Mr. Rich, living off of the family fortune must feel like the dullest existence in the world.
What are you doing? It's common courtesy to introduce yourself. Can't you see we got here first? They're running out of tables, huh? Looks like this location's getting too small for them. Very well, I'll make an exception for you this one time. Let's hope the tea, at least, won't disappoint me.
So, my friend, what's your name?
Here is the tea that you ordered. Please enjoy.
Ugh, this tea is... never mind. Mr. Bai, this has been a most pleasant and insightful conversation. I consider it good fortune that I encountered such a refined gentleman as yourself so far from home. Please allow me to pay for the tea.
Yes, good fortune indeed. In that case, I must thank you for your generosity.
You there. I'll get yours too. Oh, you can't tell? My family's lived in Mondstadt for generations. I got bored sitting around at home and decided to set off on a journey to expand my horizons. The sights of Liyue Harbor are rather spectacular. I've half a mind to buy a waterfront property here so I can come vacationing every year. That would be quite nice. If the family would spare me a little loose change, I could even invest in an antique shop or two so I have something to do during the day. And the point of life is to enjoy yourself. If something makes me happy, it's worth every mora.
Mr. Rich, just to clarify, that's quite a large sum of mora as far as the common woman is concerned. It's understandable that our friend over here feels out of her league.
The name's Albert, surname Rich, but only the servants in the house address me as Mr. Rich. Now that we're so well acquainted, Mr. Bai, please just call me Albert.
Albert does have a nice ring to it. It is my honor to become friends with someone of your caliber.
You flatter me. What say you to acting as my guide during my time in Liyue? I'll pay you handsomely, of course. Naturally, board and lodging would be included. And I could pay you in the region of 50,000 mora per day?
No need, my good friend. I shan't be so vulgar as to take your mora. We're both men of character. The pleasure of your ongoing acquaintance shall be ample reward in itself. To join a noble gentleman on his travels is a rare opportunity. Please, let me draft up an exact itinerary. I'll make sure to give you the experience of a lifetime.
You there. You're welcome to join us if you want. Which clan did you say you were with? The Hoo-Ha clan or something? Goo-Ha, huh? Strange choice of name. Gotta say, I've been in Liyue for a while now. This is the first I'm hearing of them. I guess they're one of these obscure ones who keep to themselves.
Yes, well, there are many martial arts clans and factions in Liyue. It's only natural that you haven't become acquainted with all of them.
Ha, fair enough. Still, weird name. Bet they have some even weirder practices. Seriously though, what kind of skills do you guys train anyway? It's all for show, right? I saw some people performing a few tricks down at the wharf. Is it that kind of thing? I already told the server to put it on my tab. Don't bother getting her to split the bill. It'll only complicate things.
Young lady, there's no need to take things so seriously. Why don't you loosen up and enjoy the free drink?
Are you trying to make a point by throwing my generosity back in my face? All right then. What if I say your bill is mine and don't let you pay?
Please, my friends, let's not get so worked up. Yinchang Tea House is no venue for a duel. We'll all get escorted right out the door. You young people have hot tempers, I understand that. But there's no need to come to blows over a few words taken to heart when there are far more diplomatic ways to resolve the dispute.
Did I hear that right? So you'll only pay for yourself if you win, but I'll get the check for the three of us if you lose. It's not that I care about the Mora. After all, I offered to pay for everyone's drinks in the first place. No, what I find truly absurd is your refusal to play fair. I demand that you also pay for three if you win. Fine. You can have your apology if you win, but on one condition. We'll do the best of three, and the winner pays for the table.
Well, as long as you're no longer raring to fight, peace begets wealth, as the elders used to say.
Why do you join us, Mr. Bai? Let's entertain this gal for a sec. We don't want her to think you're stingy.
But I wasn't even a part of your argument.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Bai? Whose side are you on here?
Of course, I'm on,
And anyway, it's no big deal if you win. It's just a few cups of tea after all, so you can just take it from your fees as my guide.
All right then. I suppose it's not all that different from the dice gambling games I used to play in my youth. If it's just for a few drinks, you can count me in.
All right, now we're talking. Okay, now that we've agreed on the rules, how should we do this coin toss? After all, a Mora coin looks the same on both sides. Well, that should be simple enough. Here, I'll take this coin and ask the counter to draw a line on one side. You two can wait for me.
Young lady, I can see that you haven't spent many years in the real world. You take everything far too personally. I, too, only met this Mondstadt millionaire by complete chance today, but we're getting along just fine. I actually came here to meet with a business partner to count the cash from 2 recent investments when this gentleman struck up a conversation with me. In the real world, you've got to keep up appearances. There's no need to offend the rich. After all, if you keep them happy, you can probably make some more off of them, too. You young people are much too impulsive. It pays to keep a level head.
Just so we're clear, let's say the marked side is heads and the unmarked side is tails. Everyone has to pick a side before the coin toss. Oh, and no takebacks. We should also take turns tossing the coin.
Sounds fair to me. Why don't you do the first toss, Albert?
All right then, I'll start us off. Here we... Oh, wait, I nearly forgot to collect everyone's bets. Mr. Bai, heads or tails?
I suppose the choice is arbitrary since it's a 50-50 chance. I'll go with Tails.
Let me think. I'll also go with tails. What about you? Heads or tails?
Oh, darn, I won. Lucky me, I guess.
I won as well. Guess there might be a formal apology in the cards after all. I have a suggestion. If one of us loses twice in a row, they should get knocked out while the other two carry on playing to decide the winner. Otherwise, with three of us playing, it'll start to get difficult to keep track of who's won the most times. I flipped the coin last time, so why don't you go next? I don't want you blaming my coin-tossing skills if you guess wrong this turn. Here.
Now just wait a second, my dear friends. Please let me do the second toss.
Oh? Anxious to take your turn, Mr. Bai?
You are both young, and I've already seen your short tempers for myself. If Albert loses this round and this young lady wins, you'll be tied. And before you know it, you'll be at each other's throats again. Well, that's not my only consideration, either. You two may be too young to know this, but I've been around the block a few times. What's to say this isn't a trick coin, In dice games, people use all sorts of methods to rig the game. Some even fit the dice with mechanisms that give them whichever result they want. If Albert wins the next round, and you, young lady, lose for the second time in a row, then the third round will just be a tiebreaker between him and me, and you won't get your apology to the Guhua clan. If that happens, only for you to then find out that the coin was rigged all along, you're sure to accuse me of working with Albert to scam you while mocking the Guhua clan. I can only imagine the kind of vengeful warpath that would put you on. A purely hypothetical scenario, of course, but one that I'm bringing up now to avoid any misunderstanding further down the road. Go on, give me the coin. I'll show you how to check if it's been rigged.
Very diligent of you indeed, Mr. Bai. Looks like I chose the right person to be my guide. Here, take it.
A rigged coin will always be a little heavier than a normal coin, you see. This one seems perfectly normal to me, however. But don't take it from me. Why don't you test it for yourself?
What's your bet this time, Mr. Bai?
I'll stick with tails.
Tails, huh? Well, you seem to have a feel for this, so I guess I'll match your bet again this round. Tails it is. And you?
Well, my luck's still just about holding out. The three of us are now tied, so no one drops out. Certainly better than Albert and I going head-to-head in the final round.
Well, here you go. What'll it be, Mr. Bai?
It's a tough decision this time.
That's what makes it fun, isn't it? Anyway, there's no need to stress. What's the cost of a few cups of tea compared to 50,000 I'll be paying you every day?
You make a good point. All right, I'll take heads.
Okay, and now it's my turn to guess. Not that the outcome matters either way to me. I won't even notice the more's gone. Whatever, I'll take tails.
Why did it have to be heads? This whole thing started because you two got into a spat, and now I'm the one that has to foot the bill. What say you to another round?
Sure, why not? I'm having fun. I can go for as many rounds as you want. What a miserly person. Do as you please. The two of us can play.
But, Albert, all the fun of gambling is in the stakes involved. What say you to throwing a little loose change into the pot?
Oh, come on now. No need to walk on eggshells here. Let's keep it simple, shall we? If you guess right, I pick up the tab. But if you guess wrong, I'm afraid it's still on you.
Sure. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Well, here's the coin. You can toss first. I'll take heads.
I'll choose...
Wouldn't it defeat the whole purpose of betting if you guessed the same as me? This is a two-person game now. Surely one of us has to guess heads and the other tails.
All right. It all comes down to luck, after all. I'll take tails. Ooh, looks like Rex Lapis has smiled upon me today after all. Thank you for the tea, Albert.
Look at you getting so giddy over some chump change. It's like you've never gambled with real money before, my old man. That's a real rush, I'm telling you. This is nothing by comparison. In fact, I'm starting to get a little bored.
Well, in that case, would you care for another game?
Sure. And let's up the stakes a little this time. Shall we say 50,000?
Oh, maybe that's a little on the high side.
What, 50,000? But that's just a single day's guide pay for you.
All right. I'll bet tails.
Great, then I'll bet heads. No takebacks. Heads.
Tails. Oh, how unfortunate. I shouldn't have gotten greedy. After all, in the long run, gambling is always a losing game. 50,000 more. My goodness. Albert, I'm terribly sorry, but as it happens, I forgot to bring my coin purse with me today. Could you perhaps take this 50,000 out of my guide fees? Call it an advance payment. That would make us even.
Advance payment? Sorry, I'm afraid that's not my style. It'll have to be cash.
This day just getting better and better. Well, so be it. 50,000. Let me see what cash I have on me.
Just 50,000? That's not what we agreed on.
Huh? What are you talking about? I think you'll find that our bet was for 50,000.
No, it wasn't. The amount was 1 million.
1 million? Are you insane? Come on now, Albert. Be serious. 1 million here and 1 million there might be all fun and games to you rich types, but to ordinary folk like myself, this is no laughing matter.
I'm being perfectly serious. I know what I said, and what I said was 1 million mora.
You're lying through your teeth. Hey, young lady, you tell him. Did you hear him say 1 million at any point during our bet? Huh? What the? I'm not deaf, you know. I swear I heard 50,000. Wait. Oh, I see. You two are in this together. I never met either of you before today, and out of nowhere you suddenly roped me into betting over a coin toss, and now you're accusing me of owing you 1 million mora. Huh? Do you have any idea who you're trying to cheat? I know all the tricks in the book. I can't believe a couple of beginners like you managed to get this far. Well, don't you try to celebrate just yet. You amateurs have a lot to learn about the art of the con. Do you really think that nobody else will have heard all the commotion we just made? All I need is one witness, and this little scheme of yours falls apart. Frauds! Frauds, I say! These two kids are trying to scam me out of my hard-earned Mora! Hostess! Oh, hostess, come quickly!
How pathetic.
What is going on here? If you can't abide by our rules, you're not welcome at Yenshang Tea House. I don't care what the issue is. You don't get to make a racket like that in here. Halberd! Fang!
Wait, don't throw me out! These two con artists are trying to steal my Mora. You can't let them get away with it.
Well, let's take this somewhere else. I don't want any of you disturbing the other guests.
This table's taken.
This table's taken.
Okay, you two. Care to explain yourselves?
Gladly. He's making up completely spurious claims. We were betting Mora over a few coin tosses, and now he wants to back out. In the land of contracts, of all places. He won $250,000 from me, then another $800,000 from the both of us. Now he's refusing to pay up the measly $50,000 that he lost in the final round.
Okay, so after settling up, a total of 1 million Mora should have changed hands. Sounds plausible enough.
Oh, it's a complete pack of lies. Hostess, if you don't believe me, ask anyone else in the tea house. These kids were so loud. I guarantee you everybody in that room knows the true story.
Sorry to interrupt you all, but you're witnesses to the situation here. Is what Mr. Bai says true?
Oh, thank goodness you're finally here. What took you so long? That old guy's been bragging about the Mora he's won so loudly, I'm surprised the whole street didn't hear him. I was about to report him to the Ministry of Civil Affairs.
Leave me out of this. I want nothing to do with gamblers and scammers. Please, just bring me my check.
Our new owner laid down the law not too long ago. We turn a blind eye towards casual games of dice, but there is zero tolerance for any explicit gambling with real Mora. Return any winnings to the party you took them from, and we'll say that none of this ever happened. Otherwise, I'll have to bring in the Millilith. And I can assure you that they take a more hard line on this kind of thing than we do.
Why should I have to give them any Mora? I don't have any Mora on me.
Oh, but I think you do. 2 investments, was it? One of them to the tune of exactly 1 million as it happens. Oh, and don't forget you still need to pay the tab.
You... Wait. How did you...
Halberd! Fang! There's a gentleman here that I'd really like you to meet.
Please don't. I'll pay, all right?
This was never your Mora to begin with. We'll be returning it to its rightful owner now.
We can't have this discussion in front of the other customers. Please, step outside.
What did you think, Captain Wu? Could you hear clearly from your corner on the 2nd floor?
Yes, everything. I can't thank you two enough.
Woo. This was your doing, wasn't it? You and this Mondstatter planned the whole thing. Along with that blonde one. And all the customers on that floor were in on it too, weren't they? I know where you live, and I know what your wife looks like, and your pretty little daughter, too. You crossed the wrong man today.
Who'd be scared of a crook like you? I'll take you on any day of the week.
Well, let's see how long that false bravado of yours will last.
Oh, look at that. He figured it out. Guess he's not as dumb as we thought.
Don't you two get cocky either. Just you wait. I will hunt you down.
My apologies for having to leave this question until you'd vacated the premises, but I couldn't have things escalate inside the tea house. I hope you can understand our position. I noticed that all the guests on the second floor were present before you took your seats, then left almost immediately after you did. Would I be correct in saying you were looking to set this man up?
Wait, so you saw through it right away?
Under normal circumstances, we would never tolerate a scheme like this taking place on our grounds, as it risks damaging our owner's reputation. However, I understand that our owner holds the traveler in high regard and must have good reasons for their actions. Still, I would appreciate an explanation, if only so that I can answer to the owner.
Ah, as I thought. When you're operating on someone else's turf, you run the risk of clashing with the master of the house. Thankfully, we considered that possibility before going ahead with our plan. Over to you, brave hero. You're the one with the connections in Liyue. It's your time to shine.
Okay, I understand the situation now. It goes without saying that I have no wish to stand in the way of your chivalrous deeds. I'll report everything you told me to our owner.
Well, Captain Wu, remember what I promised you? What do you think? Angry and frustrated enough for you?
Excuse me, coming through. Is this the Mr. Bai you reported to us?
Yes, that's him all right. The one who scammed Captain Wu.
Wait! Where's your evidence, And Wu, you've already recovered your Mora. I don't deserve to be punished twice for the same crime.
You can't talk your way out of this one. You're already suspected of defrauding multiple victims out of smaller amounts, and the combined total meets the threshold for a conviction. If it turns out you're guilty in this case too, it'll only add to your sentence. Does the plaintiff have any witnesses? If so, we'd really appreciate if they could come with us and provide a testimony. You got tangled up in this too, huh? In that case, please come with me. Your witness statements will play a crucial role in helping to move this case forward. Don't worry, we won't take up too much of your time. And you, sir, can stop twiddling your thumbs. You're coming with us too.
Hey, keep your hands off me. I'll cooperate. Stop manhandling me.
Thank you so much, the both of you. I really don't know how I could ever begin to repay you.
Well, I have an idea. We originally came here to do some sightseeing. Anywhere you'd recommend we go before the end of our trip?
Let me think. Now, where would I want to go? Hey, are either of you interested in a fishing trip?
Sounds fun to me. Let's go. Well, this was certainly an eventful end to my trip. It wouldn't have been possible without you. Or my lucky coin, of course. Wouldn't be much of a lucky coin if it had. Besides, I already taught you how to become attuned to it. You still need some practice to master the technique, but luckily it decided to play nice and spare us any more complications. A better question to ask might be, what do I do to make this coin happy to work with me and show me whichever side I wish? My answer would be that I tell the coin a joke every time I toss it into the air. If it finds my joke funny, then it cooperates with me. Of course, this whole arrangement hinges on a pre-existing amount of trust between the two of us. I can't just get any strange coins to listen to me. Yeah, I was a little surprised when he unwittingly called out our trick coin, but it didn't matter. A good gambler always keeps their options open. You have to have a contingency plan for when the odds are against you. So when I went to the counter, I marked a regular coin as well as my trick one. That safely avoided any risk of him finding out about the trick coin, but it also meant that we wouldn't be able to control the result of that round. But hey, what does it matter? The fact that he made things a little more challenging only made it all the more exciting to watch him slowly but surely fall into our trap. Especially listening to him warn us about the possibility of a rigged coin right as we were scamming him. That was my favorite part. As long as I chose the same bet as him, and you bet the opposite to me, it was always going to end up with him paying. Unless, of course, he'd had some other tricks up his sleeve that we hadn't thought of. Then things would have gotten really interesting.
You two are genuinely the smartest people I've ever met. I'm no intellectual, so I would never have been able to come up with a plan like this. Even when you described it to me, I only understood parts of it. Well, I may not be the smartest guy around, but one thing I do know is this. One should always return tenfold the help that they've received from others. We were just ordinary acquaintances. You had no reason to help me as much as you did. If there's anything I can ever do for you in the future, anything at all, please let me know. You can always count on me. I guarantee it.
Oh? You seem agitated. Are you worried about owing me yet another favor? There are two kinds of people who owe me favors. One is my friends, and the other my informants. My informants have to fulfill whatever requests I make of them, no questions asked. The question is, which kind of person do you want to be? And you're torn again. Too afraid to ask to be my friend, but also daunted by the dangers inherent in becoming my informant. Well, it's okay, because I just thought of a fun and easy way to get us out of this impasse. Let's do a coin toss. This is the regular coin I prepared for the contingency plan when I was borrowing a pen from the bar. Not the lucky one that does what I tell it to. If it's heads, we're friends. But if it's tails, you're at my beck and call. May the Lord of Geo decide.
So, was it heads or tails?
What do you think? What does your heart tell you?
I understand now. You have my most sincere gratitude. No, that's a little too formal. What I'm trying to say is, here, your fishing rods, my friends.
And anyway, life is short, so we should make the most of the time we... Now I remember why you're an honorary knight. Of course being tempted by money is beneath you. Your honest character is dazzling to behold. Like the sunlight reflecting off the surface of Cider Lake in the late fall, I hold my hands up. My thinking was mistaken. In that case, I guess today's end-of-trip blowout is canceled. I shall pack my luggage and prepare to return to Mondstadt. Oh, you'd do that for me? Well, this wasn't what I'd originally planned, but it's a very welcome development. When I was souvenir shopping, I picked out something for you too. Guess my thoughtfulness wasn't in vain. Let's keep that a secret for now. Not because I want to keep you guessing. It's just that I didn't think I'd run into you here. All my gifts are back at the inn. I want you to find out for yourself when you open it. The surprise is what gift-giving is all about, is it not? Then it's settled. We'll leave together shortly. Look, Mondstadt's windmills. Ah, such a comforting sight. Now, as promised, your souvenir. Here you go. According to the merchant I bought it from, mysterious spirits called Jinn often live in lamps like this. And this lamp in particular once housed a very powerful genie. Merchants love to exaggerate to help make a sale, but it's still quite the pretty little lamp. I know you like rare things, so perhaps you can add this to your collection. Of course, you can also use it as an ordinary pot. You're welcome. I'm glad you like it. I'm ready to head into the city now. You're free to join me, or you can make your own schedule. I could give everyone their souvenirs first, but I'm not sure whether I'm in the mood for running around and visiting people right after the long journey. Maybe I'll take a breather first. But I know I'll only get bored sitting in my room alone. Ugh. Do you have any suggestions? I'm honored to have such a caring friend. Let's go to the plaza in front of the cathedral. We can listen to the bards playing or feed the pigeons. After so long in Sumeru, I've begun to miss that slow-paced and relaxed atmosphere. There's no rush. We can take our time and stroll on over. Port Ormos is always lively, even late into the night. People there go to bed much later than I imagined. Quite a stark contrast with Mondstadt. People pray and play music in the cathedral plaza during the day, but come nighttime, the streets are deserted except for the knights on patrol. Good question. Life in Sumeru is never dull. Last time I was out drinking on the street at night, some passing mercenaries invited me to dance. Although, I did learn later that that kind of thing is highly unusual even there. They must have been in a very good mood that night. They taught me a lot of songs that they usually sing during feasts. It really was a fun night. But be that as it may, I think I'm more suited to the free and easy life in Mondstadt. Simple, honest folks like me, we don't need much to be content. Fair enough. Let's shelve that discussion for now. Have you ever had a chance to hear the cathedral choir before? The hymns they sing are a whole tradition in their own right. Quite different from the folk songs that the bards play. Well, let's see if we can catch them today. Sister Grace is right there, so we can ask her about the choir's schedule. Excuse me, Sister Grace. Does the church choir have any performances coming up soon?
Oh, I'm so sorry. The hymn concert we previously announced has unfortunately been pushed back.
Oh? What's the story there?
As you probably know, Captain Kaeya, we've been trying to organize an amateur choir in addition to the regular church choir.
Ah, yes. I heard about that. I believe the plan was ultimately to have different choirs who can take turns to perform hymn concerts.
Yes, exactly. Well, it turns out there are plenty of believers who are good singers and interested in joining a choir, so in theory, it should have been a simple case of getting everyone in the same room, then practice, practice, practice. But for some reason, the rehearsals are going terribly. I don't understand it. Everyone in the choir has a basic level of musical literacy, but they sound awful together. It's like everyone's trying to do their own thing. There's no group harmony. Oh, maybe I'm just not musically gifted enough to give them the guidance they need. Captain Kaeya, I know you like listening to hymns. How good is your understanding of vocal music?
Me? Music is far from my forte. But if you need some help, then don't worry. I know an expert who's more than up to the task.
Thank you so much, Captain Kaeya. Having some expert guidance will definitely be a great help.
I'm sure you've figured out who this expert is already. He has the best singing voice of any poet in Mondstadt, and understands poetry better than any other singer. Plus,
Thank you both so much. Having some expert guidance will definitely be a great help.
good day. Drinking alone? I hope you don't mind us joining you.
Hello, hello! Please, take a seat. We're all friends here.
Patton, one moonlit alley and an apple cider.
Ooh, excellent choices. Come on, let's have a toast and drain our glasses together. Here's to the time spent drinking with friends, which is more unforgettable than the drinks are delectable.
Ever the poet, Professor Venti. A beautiful toast from the bard with the most. Any new songs of yours we could listen to? There's a real dearth of quality entertainment at the moment, since the cathedral's choir performance has been delayed again. Speaking of which, I trust you've heard Sister Grace's choir perform before?
Of course! Though the format is a little on the formal side, they do sing quite beautifully. Very pleasant to listen to.
So you'd say you enjoy listening to hymns?
Let me think. Well, however it's expressed, as long as you can hear the singer's passion and joy in their voice, I consider it a phenomenal performance.
Passion and joy, huh? An intriguing perspective. By this logic, I suppose Lord Barbados would also enjoy the choir's performances.
Oh? And why is that?
Think about it. It's only because of his patient guidance and protection that the people of Mondstadt can now sing such beautiful hymns in the cathedral. It must be quite satisfying for him to hear a joyful people lift up their voices in song.
Yes, well, that's a beautiful image filled with hope. But actually, maybe Barbados himself doesn't give it so much thought. In principle, the hymns of the cathedral are dedicated to a god. But in reality, the audience are all ordinary people with very worldly concerns. So what really matters is that the people enjoy what they're listening to.
If Sister Grace was able to see things that way, perhaps she wouldn't feel so distressed.
Huh? Distressed? About what? Ugh, she might be asking a bit too much. To be honest, if they have a natural talent for music, they should just be allowed to sing whatever they want. It'll all sound good. I'm pretty sure the first people to sing songs to the Animal Archon weren't all singing the same tune. Besides, he is the god of freedom. Surely he'd prefer to hear Mondstadters sing their hearts out however comes naturally to them.
Well, to each their own, I say. But Sister Grace seems quite bothered by the whole thing. If only a kind soul with a deep understanding of poetry and music could help her. Patton?
More drinks?
Uh-oh. I only brought enough money for one bottle today. I'll have to pass.
Another bottle of apple cider for Venti, please, Patton. My treat.
Wow! Thanks, Kaeya. You were one of the finest students ever to emerge from my fast-track love poetry class. I always did admire your enthusiasm and kindness. With the aid of this bottle, a humble bard's woes are whisked away on the wind. And so it falls to this humble bard to pass the blessing on to another.
Then this is probably the single most worthwhile alcohol purchase I've ever made. With your help, Sister Grace's problems are as good as solved. Sister Grace is a devout follower of the Animo Archon. Perhaps it's her depth of devotion that causes her to worry too much about the smallest things.
Don't worry. Just wait a moment. I'll go find her. Right after I finish this cider. The next time you visit her, our sweet sister shall be sad no more. Kaeya is a wily character, but free wine is always the most delicious. It's fine. I mean, the church's choral hymns aren't exactly my strong suit, what with all the finicky formalities and so on. But as long as there is love for music in the air, I'm sure I'll be able to help. Hey, if I'm happy and Sister Grace is happy and the audience is happy, that's a great thing, isn't it?
Hello, Sister Grace. How are the rehearsals going?
Captain Kaeya, your bard friend has a few suggestions that are somewhat fanciful in nature.
Fanciful in the sense of not worth adopting? Is that what you mean? Everyone in the choir loves to sing, but they're used to singing their favorite songs. Suddenly asking them to sing in perfect harmony like a church choir with years of experience is just too difficult. So, why ask them to adjust to the demands of those staid old church hymns when you could just create a new song for them? One that they'll be able to grasp quickly? If you want, I could help.
Church choirs typically stick to traditional hymns. This is certainly an innovative idea. What's stopping you from considering it, Sister Grace?
While I don't expect a recently established amateur choir to perform on par with our own church choir, this would be a major departure from tradition. I'm just not convinced that it's appropriate.
Is the Church of Favonius really such a stickler for tradition? Giving believers the chance to express themselves freely seems like it would be a very positive thing. So, Venti, do you think the Animo Archon would like to hear a new melody?
Of course! This was the wish of the people when New Mondstadt was first founded.
Okay, well, let's see what our other friend thinks. Traveler, what are your thoughts? Another vote of confidence. Maybe there's hope for this idea yet.
Maybe it's just a generational thing, but... Oh, well, it's not a completely unreasonable idea. I suppose it can't hurt to try.
Looks like we're all in favor then, so let's start preparing. Sister Grace, could we trouble you to inform the choir members?
Of course. I'll tell them now, and then we'll give this a try.
Should we find some people to help us compose the lyrics? If this is to be a new song of the people, then the more fresh ideas we have, the better.
Good idea. Let's split up and find some contributors, Traveler. Let me think. Since we're composing a song, we should try and recruit at least one person who understands music. Aha, I know. Sister Grace, how would you feel about us asking Sister Barbara to provide her input?
Given that the idea is to write a song dedicated to Lord Barbados, I'm sure Sister Barbara would be very willing.
Perfect. Traveler, why don't you head into the cathedral and invite Sister Barbara to join us? I'll look for another friend who's interested in helping us.
Got it! With this melody, it'll be much more expressive.
Let the wind lead. Traveler, it's been a long time since I last saw you in the cathedral. Fortunately, I have some time to spare at the moment. What is it? Oh, I see! What an interesting idea. The hymns we know today have been passed down to us through the ages. Very few people would ever think to create a new one. But as long as we put our hearts into it and write with reverence and devotion, perhaps our new song can become part of the tradition that is passed on and bring joy to future generations. I never imagined that the bard would come up with such an amazing suggestion. I'd really love to be a part of this. Sure. Let's go there together right now.
Wouldn't gliding be faster? Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Ah, you're here.
You took your sweet time. Psh, I've seen Kaeya play Genius Invocation TCG, making up a bunch of baloney to distract his opponents. He's a trickster, plain and simple. So now, I gotta check with you guys to see if what he's saying is true. Can we really write about anything we want in this song? Even the evils of Mondstadt's wine industry? And is the choir really gonna perform it publicly? So everyone on the streets will hear it?
I can guarantee he won't.
Then I want to write this. All booze hounds will be punished harshly by Lord Barbados. That's a very novel idea indeed.
I'm used to just humming to myself while I work. So after Sister Grace criticized us for not singing in harmony, I was planning on quitting the choir. I never thought we'd be able to just sing what we wanted. What a relief.
Plus, we get to write a song with Sister Barbara. I'm so honored!
Thank you, everyone. why don't we start by picking a theme for this song? I agree. Traditionally speaking, the theme should be Praise be to the gentle and loving Lord Barbados.
I expect that Professor Venti might feel that topic is overdone and lacks originality, and that it may not be to Lord Barbados's liking.
That's Kaeya for you. Got it in one. I'd suggest that everyone start by thinking of the little things in life that bring you joy.
Ooh, well then can I praise the perfect fish head soup my mom cooked last night?
Of course you can.
I think I'd like to rejoice in the precious days spent together with family.
Let us praise Mondstadt, the city that allows us to sing freely.
See? Already we have lots of wonderful ideas. Let's write them down, and then Kaeya can... Kaeya? Okay, everyone. Write your ideas down once you've got something, and then we'll open it up for a group discussion.
I think the song should express the joy of being together with family.
Should I write about fish head soup or Leeway grilled fish?
What should I sing about? Home of the Windborn. What do you think of that?
Surely the song should at least mention Lord Barbados.
What are you doing here? Didn't want to participate in the discussions? I just wanted to take you to hear a performance, but that obviously didn't happen thanks to the problems with the choir rehearsals. The rehearsals are now back on track, so I've done my part. If I stay here any longer, I'll probably get roped into singing with them. I'd rather it didn't come to that. My songwriting abilities are limited. If doing nothing but loitering on the plaza enjoying the scenery all day is the only way to relax, then I suppose I didn't get to relax. But that would get boring after a while. To me, it's more fun to wander around, see what's happening, and insert myself into interesting situations. Besides, can you be so sure I didn't have something to gain from helping Sister Grace with her choir rehearsal dilemma these past few days?
Oh, I spy 2 naughty students skipping class, and they just so happen to be the very 2 who asked me to help Sister Grace in the first place. We're ready to review and discuss everyone's lyric contributions now. Hey, why is it that you look like you're trying to run away?
I still recall the teachings of Professor Venti. The Animo Archon cares not about how moving the people's songs of praise are, but rather whether or not the song comes from the heart. With so many true believers gathered together earnestly writing a song for him, I'm sure the Animo Archon is watching on and feels very satisfied. That's what a song of worship is all about. So, mission accomplished.
And that's the reason you've decided to leave?
Slipping away before the final verse is sung, before the poet has uttered the last line, before everything has concluded. I don't know. Something about it just resonates with me. Oh no. You've seen right through me.
Wow, that was a craftily crafted speech. I almost fell for it. But to share all this with a group of friends, only to find myself one friend short before the final verse is sung, before the poet has uttered the last line, before everything has concluded, I don't know. Something about it just irritates me. If you don't want to write a poem, then let me gift you one. Abandoned to whatever fortune the cruel waters bring, bereft of control, directionless I swing. The swift currents surge, and onward I urge, through the snow and frost that fall and winter bring. Majestic waves cresting, surf roaring its tail, none but the ocean to hear as I sing. the stars in my eyes as I chart toward the horizon, that into one day from the endless dome of night I shall spring. If you are a chaser of freedom, the animal Archon will bless you. So why not let those feelings out and sing with everyone?
A boat that has come unmoored will not get lost in the night, but sail towards the dawn. A beautiful image.
Of course, you don't have to believe in it, but the winds of Mondstadt will guide every lost ship back to safe harbor.
Well, after a fine poem like that, it would be plain rude of me not to rejoin you.
Let's head back together. You two of all people have to be there for the grand finale.